Hello and welcome to this tutorial video series. What we're going to be doing is introducing you to, if I can get my words out, introducing you to 3D modeling in 3ds Max. The video and the series kind of assumes, I am going to assume, you've got some knowledge of modeling and maybe you just want to go over the basics. We're going to particularly focus on edge extrusion quite a lot throughout the course. We will look at some alternative methods as well, maybe nerd modeling, so using splines as well with your with the lathe modifier and things like that. But for now, we're going to keep it super basic and just go over yeah, some of the basics, some of the moving about verts, edges, and things like that. So I think in this video what we'll do is get a reference image set up, and then we'll move on in the next video to actually modeling something. So when you load 3ds Max up, you should have a view similar to mine. If you haven't got this view, just head up to the workspace at the top here. So you've got default. You might need to reset it. So if you click reset, we should definitely be on the same page then and looking at the same UI layout. Now again, I'm going to assume that you've got some familiarity with 3ds Max and probably a little bit of modeling as well. So it'll just save me from going over too much from a beginner's perspective. But you should be able to keep up anyway. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we've got 4 different views. So obviously we've got the left view, top view, front view. You can toggle between these with the buttons T, which will take you to the top view. So if I click this here, you can see I go to the top view, front view, P for perspective, L for left. All right. You can make one of these large with Alt W, so I can get this large. I can hold Alt, middle mouse button, and kind of spin round. And again, you probably would know all this anyway, but it's, just in case you don't, middle mouse button again will pan round on its own. All right. Up on the top where my mouse is now, you've got the move tool, the rotate tool, and scale tool. You can use these to obviously move, rotate, and scale objects around, which we'll be doing plenty of. Shortcuts for these, as it says on them, is W, E, R. So W is for move. Again, R is E. Sorry, is for rotate, and R is for scale. All right. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll get a reference image in here for you to use. And I'll explain a little bit about why we're doing it this way. All right, the way that I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to hit Alt W again. We're going to just go to the front view, and what we're going to do is create a image plane here. Well, it's just a plane, but we're going to use it as an image plane. At the moment, you can see it's got quite a lot of polys in there. So I'm just going to turn the segments down via the modifier tab here. Okay, so you can go in there, or the create tab even. So once that is done, what we need to do is actually bring and apply our image onto this. So I'm just going to click M on my keyboard, okay, and this will bring up the material editor. You might have something different looking to this, all right? You might, if it's the first time you booted up Max, or again, maybe you've used 3ds Max, but you don't know, all the buttons. You might have something like this. Now, this is great for when you're getting into building materials and things like that. We're not at the moment, so it'd probably be best just to keep it super basic and use the compact view. So the compact material editor, as it says, it's a more compact view of that slate editor. And what we're going to do is just going to go to material. All right. We're not going to mess around with any other maps apart from the diffuse map here. So the diffuse map is just the pure color of an image, all right, just the detail of the actual flat image itself. So that's what we're going to bring in. We're just going to go to no maps. We're going to click bitmap here. We're going to click OK, and we're going to have to locate our image now. So I think mine's in documents. I can put mine in downloads. Where's my download folder? Where am I? I can't find my download. Oh, desktop, libraries, desktop, Stephen. Oh, I'm blind as anything. Oh my god. There it is there. So let's. I can't believe sometimes when you're looking for stuff and you're like, I was sure it was over here, but anyway. So let's get this download folder. So you're going to want to do a quick Google search before this, and obviously get a reference image of chess pieces. Now, the reference image that you use needs to be the most side-on image you can find. Okay, there's no point in having an image that's kind of got a bit of perspective to it, because you can't align it up the way we want to. All right, so you want something that's quite side on, and again, I'm just gonna, once this is in here, I can drag and drop it on our board here. You need to click this show shaded material. All right, so just click that and it will show in the viewport for you. We can go ahead and close this down. We don't actually need this for anything else now, so we can close that down because we've got the reference image in. I'm just going to press Alt W and just make this a little bit larger. Okay, so at the moment the problem with this reference image that we've got, it's a great side-on view, but the image is stretched, so we need to sort that out. All right, so really quickly we're going to go to the modifier tab, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this, whoops, and I'm going to scroll down right to the bottom here, and I'm going to use a UVW map. All right, so this will allow us to actually edit this image on the surface of the model that we've got here, of this plane, so we can actually edit this and move it around and whatnot. So we're just going to make sure it's scaled. So if you go down to alignment in here and click bitmap fit, you can actually select the image that you're using. Okay, so 3ds Max will remember the file path there. We can actually select this and we can click open, and you can see that it will scale it to the proportions of the image that you've selected. Now what's happened here is we've not done our plane quite wide enough. So rather than mess around with the plane again and coming back in, what we can do is we can just shrink this image down. So if we go to the gizmo setting here, all right, we can actually select that. You can see these little things have gone green here. We're going to select that. Make sure you're in scale mode. So I'm just going to click R, make sure that, and I'm just going to pull these in slightly. There we go, ever so slightly. You can move them about as well if you wanted to. You know, if you want to get these aligned up, maybe to the bottom or wherever you want. But it's absolutely fine where it is. There is, you know, point of reference. So that will be sorted for us. That's all we need to do in there. So I'm just going to move this. Oops. I'm going to just come out like gizmo mode there. Make sure you click that gizmo to come out of it. And I'm just going to move this back. Just off the grid, I suppose. We can actually scale it as well. Let's scale it a little bit just to fit the grid a little bit more, I reckon. Make things a bit more easier. Okay, so the reason I like to get my students or people who are just getting into modeling to use this as an image plane, okay? So using this image plane as opposed to loading a image directly into the background is because when students are just starting to learn this, they kind of sometimes get lost within the 3D area and space, if you like. I think just having this on a actual plane that they can visually see where they're going to be modeling and where they're referencing from, it just makes it that little bit easier for students to navigate the scene and, you know, pan around. And again, you know, if you hit the Z button or Z, the Z button, you can zoom in and you can focus on this. But it just helps them have that point of reference there. I think we'll wrap that up for the first video. So really short video, just getting our image plane set in. If you wanted to, if these little things are annoying you and you're a bit of a, you know, you're a bit of a perfectionist, what we can do really quickly, I'll just show you how to get rid of them. You can right click, we can select our edges here. So I've just gone into edge mode. I've right clicked and converted it to an editable poly. I did that quite fast then. And you get a whole bunch of different options there, and you'll see the UV map has been collapsed into the stack here. so it's actually permanently on here now. And I'm just going to click connect, the little settings tab there at the side of connect, and what we're going to do is we're going to just push that up. You can use your polygon mode here, so make a selection there. You can delete that, and if you really wanted to, you could do the same for the bottom as well. So just if you wanted it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more kind of focused in, really, you can just get it like that. But that's the end of the video. The next video, we're gonna model the actual pawn itself, so we'll do that next. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this one as a little introduction and project setup, and I shall see you in the next video.